Hello and welcome back to our media marathon stream. There we go. Abruptly ends. Devil Flyer on Fund My Comic. Dash can still up over there on Indiegogo. We're looking at the collection, the comic book collection today. Let me see. Let's set this up right, and you can see what I'm seeing. My comic book collection that I have. Okay, why is this not sharing screen? All right, let's try that again. Whoops, maybe because I clicked that first. Okay, cancel that. All right. I did one false. There we go. Gotta do that. This here. There we go. Maybe it'll come up. Had a storm roll in a little bit, stormy weather. Still breezy out there, a lot of water, been raining. There we go. It's just on a little delay there. All right. Things moving slowly, ever so slowly. There we go. Okay, so we can pick up where we left off here. Box 21. We made it through 20 boxes of my collection. Kind of looking through some of my comic book collection. Well, all of the comic book collection that I have photographed and put into short boxes. Hmm. 1966 on this one, Werewolf #1, collector's edition from Dale. So starting off with some very nice. Here's the Neal Adams cover. I have some great condition Marvel Classic Comics that took the novels and 52 pagers, newsstand collection from a 70s newsstand that apparently somebody finally took them out of storage and put them up for sale. And I bought every one of these Marvel Classic Comics they have because they're just big. They're in great shape. I think this is a Klaus Janson inked cover here. Red Badge of Courage, #10. 52 pages, no ads, several Ivanhoe. There's another Atlas. That's a Rich Buckler cover. Got this Dingbats as well. Maybe this is with them, so maybe I got this one as well from what I call the newsstand collection. I know this one was Jack Kirby there cover. Yeah, I guess so. Bernie Wrightson cover here. Thanks to Kate in Orlando. This is Doom Patrol by John Byrne. For the super chat earlier. Wait, is this a rerun? Didn't I watch this? No. We're picking up where we left off, Doc. Picking up where we left off, some John Byrne, Doom Patrol, Jack Kirby's Galactic Bounty Hunters. These, from the mind of the king comes Jack Kirby's Galactic Bounty Hunters. These were like characters that he thought up and never did really anything with. So they kind of put this together. Neat little title. Micronauts #1, the new voyages, all new adventures of the strangest cosmos of all. King size Micronauts #2 from the original run. If I go back, I think that's a Steve Ditko cover. It's got that Toys R Us shopping spree banner on there from 1980. Nice Bill Sienkiewicz cover there, I believe. No, that's Carl Potts. Okay, Carl Potts cover. Trying to, maybe Sienkiewicz on the inks. Maybe not. I don't see his signature there, so maybe he's trying to mimic a little Sienkiewicz scrawl there. Green Lantern Corps Quarterly, that was pretty cool. Big, thicker book, 64 pages. Lobo cover on that one. Ben 10. Just check Tree Goblin in the house. Hey, Tree. Marathon streaming today. Master of Kung Fu, #1. Don't have very many masters of Kung Fu. Iron Fist in this issue. These are like trifold covers or fold out covers because they go to the edge there. If you look, you see exposed paper there. I always thought that was kind of weird. See multiple issues because these were from the comic book Neil Adams cover there. Love that. Bang, bang. Bernie Wrightson cover. I've actually got a couple pieces of production art from this cover from the Adler collection. This cover was also used on the DC Showcase, kind of like Marvel Essential books, reproducing the DC stuff. In this case, House of Mystery, which there was a couple books on that in black and white. Another great Bernie Wrightson cover. Second issue of that. X-Men, the early years. So a little thundering in the background, a little windy. A lot wet out there. I think it's supposed to kind of storm and come through here all week long, from what I understand, the next 5 or 6 days. These Legends had some great painted covers. Glow in the dark cover there to issue 50. Got a pretty extensive run on these Superboys. There's a rare independent from Silver Wolf, Greater Mercury and Silver Wolf Comics. Fat Ninja. The Fat Ninja. Reprint of Magnus Robot Fighter from Dark Horse. Glow in the dark cover there on Shadowhawk #3. Certainly a mixture of books. It's kind of as I came across them, photographed them. Apex Comics. I have plenty of Masters of Kung Fu, including first appearance of Marvel's Special Edition number 15. His first appearance. Yeah, that's a good one to have. Never much cared for them, so I didn't buy any of them. But, Mike Zeck did do some good covers. Nice Conan, John Buscema Conan there, number 124. Bunch of Azraels in this box. Nice Ditko cover there for Haunted. Please believe it or not. Nice cover there. That's pretty nice. Oops, skipped one. That's a nice cover too. Lazarus Pit coming up out of the pit. That's Conan. Gil Kane covers. Two of the same different book. See here's now only 12 cents up here in the corner. And the next one is 15 cents. Released multiple times. Heckle and Jekyll. Loved Heckle and Jekyll. Not in that great of shape. And the brand new adventures of Hector Heathcote. Do you remember Hector Heathcote? I do. And Dinky Duck. There's a conga. Nice cover there. Squadron Supreme. There's number 1 of the 12-issue miniseries. I have the omnibus with all that in there. We discussed that yesterday. Woodsy Owl. Give a hoot, don't pollute. Nice cover there. That's nice too. Hundred Bullets. They had some nice covers. Johnson covers. How about that? Prophet. Steve Ditko cover there. The Harlequin. The Joker's daughter, the Harlequin. Harlequin. History of the DC Universe. George Perez cover. Wolfman and Perez. Who could better tell that story? Nobody, in my opinion. The Microbots. How about that? Gold Key. Walt Simonson covers. Classic cover there. Birth of Cyclops' kid in this issue, I believe. 201, X-Men 201. Here's that redo of that cover we saw on the first, my last stream, the original. Shadowhawk in the house, the Energizer Bunny, absolutely. Got to keep you busy. Got to keep you company while you're at work, working your ass off. And I'm at home just perusing for the benefit of everyone. Look at that. The Beast by Rob Liefeld. Animal Mystic, Waterworld, Serious Comics. Yeah. They did a Wizard Ice edition of her. That's pretty neat. Mutants and Misfits, Silverline Comics. So is that the same? Is that Rowan? Is that Rose Silverline Comics from back in the day? Or is that a different Silverline Comics? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to ask him. There's a little note, the Segmented Man. That's just something that inspired. That's Segmented Man's a character that of John Falandes. There's a better copy of that. I showed in the last broadcast a sort of beat up copy of that one. Some of Wallywood Thunder Agents. These are some here that I had production artwork to. Tachyon, that was pretty good to read. That could almost be looked at as a Amazing Spider-Man homage cover from the Ditko era. And featuring, need we say, Firehawk in it as well. Little promo comic here. I think Elsie gave me this one. He got a bunch of these on eBay. That's the second copy I've seen of this one. I've got 2 copies of that at least. And Comics, this was pretty cool. A Pop Comics, world's grooviest comic magazine. Always liked the comics. Oh, did I skip one? The Skunk Entity Comics. I'm thinking, I might be wrong about this, but this might be the first appearance of the Fatal Five. I forget. I had a production art piece to that. And there's early John Byrne artworks. Space 1999, 1975, number 5. Very nicely done. Lancelot, Secret Chimp. Agency to Prevent Evil. APE. APE. Loved Lancelot's Secret Chimp. Only 20 episodes, I believe. Here's the Whitman of that. Hercules 12th Center. Just want to see the Rabbit Wonder. Sergio Aragonés and Steve Lealoa. I never can think of his name. Came out with Quack. Jack Frost. He's a Harvey Thriller. Harvey tried its hand in the superhero field in the 60s. Steve Ditko cover there. He did some great covers for Charlton. That's a Space Wars. These things get a little expensive. These Space Wars. Often that was Steve Ditko artwork. This one came out in 79. So that's kind of a reprint of the original 60s Space War. It's a Ditko cover there. Always cool when you have a, time device like that. I have one of those, on the double page spread in the Devil Flyer story. Jim Lee cover here. Art Adams. Always liked Hyperkind. They were a pretty cool team. Got some nice condition when I bought that shop out of kids comics like this, in great shape, just new shape. Nobody bought them. When I bought the store out, I got them. Pacific Comics, I always liked Pacific Comics, Red Circle, Infantino covers. Don't know if I have all the who's who, but I've got several of them. At one time, I could say, yeah, I've got the whole thing, but not anymore. Perez cover here. Oops. Nice Perez cover there, where she's raking the wall. Skipped one there. Sam Keith cover here. Second issue on that, because that was in one of the other boxes at Batman Annual. Second issue of this, too. I've already seen one of these. Timothy Truman artwork on this. Some more noms. Okay, I think I'm rounding about again. Homer Glitch in the house. Is Doc still here? Yo, Doc, hope you are feeling better. Yeah? He's ignoring us? No. But I do have to move along. Again, what the is happening? Rex is on fire. Yeah. Beast. Just trying to say thank you to people for the super chats, and I have the time, so, and like Rozzy says, we're paying a premium for Mike Walters in the house. Hey, Mike. Might as well look at some of my collection, trying to go through here. Statue of Liberty cover. I had a person that had Statue of Liberty. That was the only comics that he had. Elsie owns the acetates color separation to this Kung Fu Fighter #1, or he did. If we do an Adler book, that'll be featured in there, along with all the other stuff. I've got a full run of Commandees. I think I've got more than one copy of Commandy #1. It's kind of iconic cover. There's another Atlas book there. Atlas Comics. Charlton's Monster Hunters. This is a Mike Zeck cover. Early Mike Zeck cover. Nice. Nick Cardy cover here with a nice looking mummy. Look at that. take your body to the grave. I want your girlfriend. Action Girl bought a bunch of these because she's dressed up as a Pez dispenser. How cool is that? I can always sell that to Pez people. Amazing Heroes. I often forget that when talking, a book about comics, kind of like Wizard. Right there's Adler's grandkids. He did this cover, Infinity cover here. He's holding the book and 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 holding the book, even though that's not, Infinity cover. The definitive Captain Marvel. Yes. Split. He comes apart. Is that first Batwoman? I don't know if that's our first issue or not. Maybe. Paid $4 for it. $4 or $5 for it. I think I paid $5, even though it says $4. Perez cover there. That's a chromium cover there. Oops, skipped one there. Weekly, Action Comics Weekly. Nice Jim Starlin cover there. Michael Turner. Skipped one there. Very Kirby-esque. I like that. That's a cool cover. Steve Ditko cover. Bought a bunch of these. What year? 1985. So toward the end of their run. I actually bought these Mysterious Travelers. You can see I have multiple issues. From Bottom Out. Love this cover. They're just the way he depicts Reed's arms stretched like that. It's just so cool. Bought those Travelers from Mile High Comics off eBay. Now, from this cover, number 60 of Tales of Suspense, this pose of Iron Man would be used later in the Ditko box up there in the corner. That's the old Don Heck Iron Man up there, but that would be replaced by this Jack Kirby after this issue. Some fanzine comic from the 60s, mid 60s, 1964. We'll see if we get through all my files today. I'm certainly going to try. There's Neil Adams. Nice Phantom Stranger. Neil Adams again. Very cool covers. They revived Amazing Fantasy, in a second series and probably a third series. Bought all these I could too from Mile High Comics. Old Ditko. Later reprinted 1978 here. Captain Adams original yellow and orange or red, whatever, I guess yellow and orange costume. This is always a hilarious cover to me. Michael Golden embossed cover there, War Machine. All right, I think we did that one. Rex chasing that super chat money. Nice. Monsters on the Prowl. Nexus and Magnus Robot Fighter. Steve Rude artwork from Valiant. I actually have an approval cover of this issue, except the Platinum edition. This is the regular edition, Mary Windsor Smith cover. This is what Valiant started out with, Captain Nintendo and things like that. Wasn't successful, but I've tried to go back and collect some of these early Valiant books because I know they're rare. And yeah, they're acquiring some value. Chaos Effect, I read all of the Chaos Effect last year. Didn't get much out of it. There's not really a review too well on YouTube about it. I could have done a review. It was okay. Didn't really get much of a, explanation about what the Chaos Effect was. This is a real thin preview book. I always like this cover. Yeah, I paid about $65 for the Chaos Effect. I think all the issues of that, just to read it, because I thought it might help me. It really didn't help me, but I thought it might. I wanted to see what Valiant's, what the Chaos Effect was and everything, because that's kind of what's going on in the Momentum universe. Here's an early pre-Unity there, Magnus Robot Fighter #1. Good issue, near mint. Another issue of it. Hell yeah. Those will eventually be worth something. There's issue 4. Issue 3. Another issue 3. Another issue 3. I try and collect these because they're going to be worth something. That one too. #2. Here's another #1. Puts a smile on my face to see. Oh, look, Arkansas. Arkansas is right there above Louisiana. Eternal Warriors kind of obscuring it. A lot of Valiant books. I got a lot of Valiant books when I bought that comic shop out. I think that's where I got most of these. I have collected a few myself. That's part of the Chaos Effect there, where you see these, that's kind of like how they had it up there on the banner, but it also had like this ink blot or whatever. But I never did really quite. I think they did the Chaos Effect just to introduce a new character. Some of the newer Acclaim comics or, Valiant characters. All right. Early Barry Windsor Smith Solar. Oh, look, a super chat. Oh, Apex Comics, great files of your collection. What's the value? I wouldn't even try and put a, maybe I might give you some estimation after we look, you know, through a few more. And I don't know. If I got $1 a piece, 30,000, so it's got to be over 30,000, right? If I got $1 a piece for them, which is vastly undervalued. Star Spangled War. These are hard to get in good shape, and I don't have a complete collection, but I'm nearing at least having a copy of each while they were doing that. Really need to buckle down and take a lot of these that are just extra copies. There's a Chaos Effect. So I had a few Chaos Effect, but not that many, and I did want to read the story, and that had all the, and I read it, and it was okay. It just wasn't mind blowing. That's kind of where they had I think that was the Chaos Effect was a Valiant, you know, was the first attempt uh, at multi-title crossover. I think maybe that was the first time that it kind of happened. Kind of started a trend. These Marvel sagas, as they went along and got to the later issues, ran about 24 issues or so. Um, they get down to like 3,000. The older Marvel sagas, there weren't very many printed at all. Not many people were, as it went along, not many people were collecting it. So I think they're a good, rare book to have. There's Sea Dragon from Elite Comics. I think Apex likes that character. I do. I've got a full run of Sea Dragon. Little Iodine from Dale. This is all linked up. It spells Kirby Genesis. Alex Ross cover. I like this. Yeah. Alex Ross. Part of the Superpowers. Superpowers 2. They would do these negative covers. Adam Post did that too with his Triumph comics. And they also did it here in the Superpowers projects. They did some negative and positive covers as well. This here is like Max Texeria, you know. It did 2009. Nice painted cover. You come in close, you can see the brush strokes and everything, how crude it is. He did a lot of Ghost Rider, of course. Great shots, though. All the bodies making up the image of the claw. I tried to pick up the ones. I have a hardback with this stuff in there, too. That's a George Tuska cover there. George Tuska doing. I wonder. I imagine George Tuska did the old original Daredevil at some point, so they got him to do that cover. There you go. That's Dave Stevens of Rocketeer fame. King Kong, yes. I don't have the whole run of this, I don't think, but I love it. It's good stuff. Naked Brain, that's cool. Black cover too. I thought about getting this one slabbed just for the cover, you know. Black cover there. A lot of these are black covers. Monster Hunters #1 there. That's a Mike Zeck cover, early Zeck cover. Werewolf cover. Ditko cover. An all Ditko issue. All Ditko art, it says. The Adventures of, I forget what this is, Invasion Comics. Something to do with the Holy Spirit, I think. Escape from Darkness. DLC, something, the body of Christ. That's what it is. The Adventures of the Body of Christ, believe it or not. Issue 2 here. Invasion Comics. That's what BOC stands for, the Body of Christ. Got several Star Trek. Look at this one. Look at this one, man. Lettering's atrocious. Artwork's not that great, but somebody made it, and I love it. Look at that. Silver Comics. Love it. Seaboat. Hell yeah. Psychopath. Another Greater Mercury rare comic. Venusian Press presents Psychopath. Marvel Apes. Get your hands off my comic books, you damn dirty apes. Books of Doom. What a great cover, man. Dr. Doom. Little miniseries, 6 issues. That Fantastic Four variant edition, 571 with the Marvel Superhero Squad. Yeah. Art Adams cover. Art Adams. Freebie here. Got some of those Wednesday comics that was like a newspaper on newsprint. I've also got the hardback. I'll get that out from over here and I'll show it today. It's a huge book. Show it on the 4 o'clock shadow. George Perez cover here, Entity Comics. He did this. I believe that's George Perez. May not be. It's very George Perez-like artwork. Let's put it that way. From the Fractal universe. He might have did one of the covers. All right, so that's issue 4. Here's issue 3A. Number 3, another variant. Here's one, the full cover by Costata, number 2. Number 1, I think that's Jay Lee. Yep, Jay Lee artwork. They always did full. Here's a 0 issue. I think that's Perez issue. Perez cover. Looking for his signature. I'm not seeing it, but it looks like his stuff. Full cover there. Rip Claw Wizard half edition. Look at this. Got a little seal on there, a little dragon seal. Dave Finch. Dave Finch cover. How to Draw Comics, featuring a special comic book insert. Comic book size. Love this cover. I've got 2 of that. Number 69 of Conan. I think we've rounded the way around on that one. Dave Stevens King Kong cover, approximately $60. Mint. Wow. Number 1, yeah. With all those extra copies of comics you have. What about it? Yeah, you should do comic book giveaways to promote your channel. Must be a sub and commit on like 3 videos and comment on the live chat giveaway. Huh? Chaos Effect, nothing to write home about. Yeah. Some Ultimate books here. Ultimate Spider-Man. Art T. Bear did a lot of these. Up to like almost 60 issues. Then they fired him. Went to lunch with some DC people and they fired him. And creators did that all the time. He's told that story before. That's how I know it on his channel. Some icons. I think some of that will be worth something. Some Archies I picked up. All giant issues, if you notice. I was picking these up for $1 a piece, and look at the condition of them. Hell yeah. I'll pick them up for $1 a piece. Sure. Some of them are old. I mean, back in the 60s. Some from the 70s, some from the 80s. Some later than that. These were some that I picked up. Static. A lot of these like this I would never have picked up, but when I bought out that comic shop, kind of inherited them. This is 166 Nemesis, 8 extra pages. Always like that. Swamp Thing there, Mike Kaluta cover. Wonder Man #1. Glad to see that. I wasn't sure if I had that or not. That's Marvel Premiere, actually. 55, though. There's a Wonder Man #1. Here's 4, 2. This helps me keep it straight in my mind going through this every now and then. What I do have and what I don't have. Some of the Marvel New Universe here. DP7, it was all supposed to be about people, ordinary people without superpowers somewhat. I never quite got what they were trying to go with New Universe, the way they explained it and everything, because it never really quite worked. The most, Star Brand and DP7, the ones that actually had superpowers, were the books that sold the best. This is a second appearance of Black Panther in Fantastic Four homage cover to cover that do that Kirby did. That's an Eric Larson cover there. Doom Patrol, 16-page second feature. I don't know what was in that second feature. I assume another Doom Patrol, but it may be something different. Do you know, Apex? I don't know. Doom Patrol #9, 16-page second feature. Maybe another Doom Patrol story. I don't know. Whitman Bugs Bunny. These were numbered too. Individually numbered. Did I miss one? Yeah, Mickey Mouse Adventures. Cyberforce, Top Cow. Frank Quietly cover. Tech World there with William Shatner. Very young William Shatner up there. Was the 80s. Motri, Strike Force Motri. I hate books that you don't know I think I'm cycling back, aren't I? I think so. How much did you buy out that comic book store for, Rex? Should I tell you? I like DP7 the best out of the new universe. That's right, because they had superpowers. If you're lucky, you can get rid of it for pennies on the dollar. Yeah. It's funny how we often think our comic collection is worth so much. You have to remember you probably couldn't get a ride of your collection for what it was worth. Yeah. Art Two Bears Smokes constant Marvel title, Ultimate Spider-Man. Yep. Rex's Comic Book Museum. I've still got the receipt, Omer, to from where I bought it. I think it was like $2,300. Oops. I'll go by quick, but not that quick. Here's a TRS-80 Computer WizKids Radio Shack promo. Not Brand Eck, number 3. I think I've got another copy of this signed by Marie Severin. I've got 3 of these Not Brand X that are signed on the cover by Marie Severin in ballpoint pen. So you know they were signed way back. I think I've got a graded copy, maybe a 5 point something of this one. I'm thinking. Is it up there? I put it in the graded box. Okay, 110. I'll have to check that, see if that's the same number. I think it was. Wasn't sure if I had that one or not. Just sold, to issue 50 with the same character. I just sold an acetate and mailed it off yesterday of Daredevil 50. Early Barry Windsor Smith artwork. There's the superhero Dracula. That's public domain, I think, from Dale Comics. 3rd appearance of the Defenders, I believe, here. Marvel feature 1, 2, and 3 were the 1st, 2nd, 3rd appearances of the Defenders. Nice Gil Kane cover again. Gil Kane cover. That one kind of got bent up in the move, I believe. That's why that corner's bent on this one. Neil Adams cover there. That's a British comic. Number 65. Printed in 1965, I think. Oh, 2nd copy of that one. Very cool annual. 1969 on this one. Number 22. Sea Devils. Number 25. Vigilante there on the cover of Adventure Comics. Nice Solar Man of the Atom. He used to have green skin. Look at that Gil Kane cover. Look how much he packed in on that thing. King Comics. 1st appearance of Dolphin here. Showcase Comics. Showcase presents. This Neil Adams cover here. This is a foreign comic, I think Mexican. Not sure. Used to be a TV show. There's the artist's name there, Stephen McNally. Nice Gil Kane cover there. Gene Colan. That Forefront. No, that's a Harvey thriller. Blast Crazy Marine. Flash. King Features. Brand new Flash. Number 1. Neutro. Only one issue of Neutro out there, and this is it. Cave Carson. Always like that. Sea Devils. I had a lot of production artwork from interior pages as well. I've got some of these. Bwana Beast Showcase. One of the strangest characters that DC ever came up with. Brave and the Bold, number 53. This is from the Circle 8 collection. That's why that little mark's on there. Another number 1 of Boy Commandos. Here's a number 2. I actually have the Adler approval cover to this, signed by Carmen Infantino. The Owl. There you go. I think he's in public domain. Number 5 of Marvel 2-in-1. Marvel Greatest Comics that reprinted all the Fantastic Four issues. Another Gil Kane cover. Rails Across America is probably a 1950s promo comic. Korg 70,000 BC. Number 9, 1976. Oh, nice robot cover on that one. Robots finding cavemen. How about that? In 70 BC. 70,000 BC. Mighty Crusaders from the 60s. Blue Beetle from the 60s. Black cover. Look at that. Pretty nice condition. Not too bad. This here reminds me, it almost looks like, I don't know, Gray Marl artwork. Gray Marl might have had something to do with that. I don't know. Maybe not. Bomba, the Jungle Boy, 1967. TV's Teen Jungle Star. So he was on TV. Got some of those Bombas from Key Comics. This is cool. C.C. Beck did this, I believe. Fat Man, the Human Flying Sausage, 1967. Giant size comic. Of course, a Lightning comic. Classic cover there. Captain Marvel number 14 with Iron Man. I believe this is the first appearance of Moondragon in this issue. Nice Gil Kane cover. Another one of these, first appearance of Rogue. I love this book. I'll pick this book up anytime I find it, man. Look at that. Fantastic Four, ABC, America's Best Comics TV on ABC, the ABC television network, Saturday morning cartoon, Carnival, presenting an all-star ABC animated power-packed lineup you just can't miss. Casper the Friendly Ghost, Amazing Spider-Man, Journey into the Center of the Earth, George of the Jungle, King Kong, and Fantastic Four. Hell yeah. Great issue to have. I believe that came out in not sure, 67, maybe. Strange Planets. Super Comics. These were kind of reprint comics. Don't know if they had new covers or what. Probably not. Aquaman. Aquaman number 8. Aquaman number 8. Steve Ditko here of Ghostly Haunts. Geronimo Jones, number 1. Rich Buckler cover here on the Doc Savage Man of Bronze, number 1. Kirby. Neil Adams. That's a great cover there. Uncanny Tales from the Grave. Look at that. Oh, boy. You sound worse. I tell you what. Old Batman there. See the date there, 1965? Look at that. I think November 3rd. Something like that. I'm not sure. I was born November 2nd, 65. Old Batman here. It's got a paid stamp on it. Not in that great shape. A little water damage, a little ink. See where they used to put the ink there? Wasn't always ripped there. But other than that, probably didn't give that much for it for an old Batman. Looking good. This one's I'm pressing, whatever it is, in between 2 boards. Still took a picture of it to know that there's a book there. Space Ghost. Do, 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 do. I think I'm cycling back, aren't I? Oh. Some newer books, Babylon 5. I do hope that they will do a J. Michael Straczynski will come out with the new Babylon 5 remake. I don't know. It would just be cool, if he could do it, upgrade it. If he had a vision for it and he just was kind of hampered by what you could do technically at the time, I say go for it. Some people are going, why remake it? But if they can, there you go. There's the Ethan Van Sciver cover, Green Lantern Rebirth. A lot of Suicide Squads. Maybe first appearance of Amanda Waller in here, huh? That might have been the issue right there. I don't know. Al Milgrom did a lot of these covers, not all of them. Love some Scott McDaniel artwork. He did that Richard Dragon series. Walt Simonson cover. Batman and Tarzan. How about that? Carmen Infantino. Joe Kubert. Bought a bunch of this. This is the issue here. Jay Lee cover. Maybe painted by Alex Ross. This is where Blue Beetle dies. Didn't know that at the time. I just knew it was 80 pages for $1 and bought all these I could. So maybe that'll be worth something one of these days. That's cool. Looking through the mouth. Seen that used more than once. Hey, page revelation, The Secret of the Legion Flight Rings. Yes, I bought this when it came out. I read this Breach. Actually, pretty good read, I guess. That's Ethan Van Sciver cover. Mega Men. Check the chat there. Temporary Death of Blue Beetle. Oh, was it temporary? Okay. Fantastic Four cartoon, 1967. Yeah, I dig the Mighty Crusaders, but Wannabes teamed up with Animal Man in the late 80s. Yeah, he also was in animation as well, you know. I don't know if that was The Brave and the Bold or what. First appearance of Dolphin, $200. Wow, in near mint shape. I don't know if mine's in near mint, but yeah, that one's been going up. You could get that for next to nothing at a while, for a while. Later, gents. Have a great show. See you, Omer. Just messing with you, bud. No, good suggestions all. Um, hide that. All right. Gonna go off. Slow to respond. Slow to respond. I may have to reboot my computer before the 4 o'clock shadow. Steve Rude cover here. Interiors too on this series. 3-issue series. That's worth some money, huh? Wonder Woman, #1, maybe. George Perez. This was a great title. Villains United. I enjoyed that. Ed Harris lookalike cover. Tell me that's not Ed Harris as Lex Luthor. We know it is. Johnny Quest. Kamiko. Dun 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 dun. Robotech. Next Man. I always like Next Man. I can't think of cycling again. Okay. All right. Greg Lang covers on these Ultimate Fantastic Four, a bunch of them. I got a bunch of Ultimate books in that when I bought that comic book store out too. I had not previously bought, a bunch of them. That's John Byrne cover there. Byrne, 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 Hitler cover. Never liked the look of this thing here. Nope. Didn't like never got into it. Maybe because look at that. Not an improvement. Sorry. Let's mutate him further. Make him harder to draw. No, let's don't. And make his girlfriend all rocky too. Yeah, I don't think so. We'll make her look like the Thing, but with boobs, and make him look, yeah. Nice Doom cover. Die cut cover. Got a lot of these Fantastic Fours too in that deal. X-Men #1 takeoff cover by Allred. Mr. Madman. Got several of those. 9-cent issue. I bought a bunch of those. Ringo cover. We're Ringo. He's passed away now. Great Fantastic Four artist. See, I've got a bunch of these I bought. Knight Rider #1. The original Ghost Rider, but they never renamed it Knight Rider. Gil Kane cover. Bill Sienkiewicz cover. Comet Man #1. 1986. Reprint. Bought this reprint from Family Dollar. They had them bagged up, like 3 issues. And here's the other one. Looks like a Tom Grummett cover, but it may not be. I think that might be the other one. Calendar, 2010 calendar. Alex Ross cover. See the color saturation? This one's really light, and then this one's darker. And the logo and his cape. Reprint of Thor issues. That's the first Avengers I ever bought right there on the index, right there. Rich Buckler cover. That was the first Avengers. So of course, I had to have this. It's official index to the Marvel Universe, the Avengers, Thor, and Captain America. Featuring Avengers 147, Thor 238, and Captain America issues there. Even a 1942 Captain America Comics 18 story. I've not really looked through these, but I did try and get these. I don't know if I got them off eBay or what. Probably eBay. But can't remember. But yeah, the comics in their entirety. I don't know why they would do that. I think it would take them forever doing it that way. Capwolf. Take a look at the chat real quick here. Brick oven thing. Yeah, Ed Harris would have been a good Lex Luthor in the late 90s, opposite of Nick Cage Superman. Temporary death of Blue Beetle. Yeah. Well, maybe that'll be a cool. I mean, it's 80 pages for $1, so they probably saw the hell out of that. Got some of these on got a bunch of these. Squadron Supreme, another that's Scott Collins that did the Flash. He did that, like this cover. The interiors. Cool series here with Tim Sale. Of course, Tim Sale passed away. I've got this in a hardback, so there's really no need to have the floppies, but I like the floppies. Totally missed this when it came out. There we go. Missed an issue. George Perez there, embossed cover. Aaron Lopresti working around this time on the Hulk. These are Lopresti issues. And I got a bunch of these from the comic shop. Buying their overages, $50 a long box. I should have just kept that up. Now see there's two versions of that cover. See the red in the background, and then this one here is a variant cover, got gray in the background. House of M. I don't know. Wild. Classic cover. $0.25 issue. Almost looks like Batman, huh? Almost looks like Batman, like he's got a bat ear there. First appearance of Rocket Raccoon there. Not in that great a shape, but at least I've got a copy. I bought that when it originally came out on stand. Sean Byrne here. Got a bunch of this issue. So Dale Keown, Incredible Hulks. UFOs again. Die cut cover here. The heart. Looks like, yeah, connected there. It just kind of folds out. It's kind of weird cover. Expensive to make. Thunderbolts. That's the first appearance of Thunderbolts, I believe. $4.49. That's a trade paperback, actually. This Batman Adventures Collected Volume 1. Bruce Timm cover. Moving right along. Let's see. Check the chat here. Marvelous Dale Keown, aka. Yep. He was. Scott Collin was a hard artist for Marvel for a few years, 2005 to 2028. Yep. Neil Adams cover here, and he also put Neil Adams on the shirt there, or is that Neil Adams, or is that Joe Kubert? And he's kind of doing, I don't know. He put in Adams anyway on there on the shirt. Creature Commandos. Some more war books. Statue of Liberty cover. I had a person that wanted to buy nothing but the Statue of Liberty covers from me. So I tried to find some and accommodate him there for a little while. Leonard Nimoy's Primordials. That's an Art Adams cover there. There's some Tick and Arthur, number 2. Ron, Bob Layton cover. Look at the hat. Great cover. Hat. Mm-hmm. Number 13. Gorilla cover. Gil Kane. Jack Kirby cover. 1976. Kirby. Here's an Invaders. Several of that one. There we go. So Antarctic Press, Families of the Altered War, where World War II went into modern day or went past the 40s. I collected these, tried to find these for a while from Antarctic Press. Kind of a neat idea. Even had technical manuals. UFOs. Partial photo cover. This is a classic Joe Kubert cover showing what the unknown soldier's face really looks like on the cover. Jack Kirby cover with a comic book there on the cover. Cool. Nice little overlay there in red. It's hard to make out what it is. Paratroopers, whatnot, but Swamp Thing, the official adaptation to the movie. Thrasher's first appearance, Iron Man. Try and pick that one up. Great Defenders, number 9. Sal Buscema cover. Classic. One of the first comics I ever read, Defenders number 15. And it had Professor X in it, and the Magneto and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, as you can see here. Never did get the next issue because by the time I read it, it was already a back issue. I wasn't even collecting at this time. The next Defenders I would read would be issue 50, and there's a lot of gap between issue 15 and 50. Just never picked one up. Probably looked at it, was kind of interesting because it's a team book, but Avengers guy and collected other things. Boss cover there. Neil Adams cover there. Marvel Comics Presents. I guess I did get some Shang-Chi stories on those. Blue Devil, I read it for a little while when it first came out. He was a character that was in one of those 16-page previews to begin with. All right, I think I'm cycling back on that one. Marvelous Del Keown, yes. Connected covers. Whitman variant. Whitman variant there. That's a Rich Buckler and Joe Rubenstein cover. Whitman variant on that one. Whitmans were considered worthless. That's Neil Adams. Back in the early 80s. I mean, people just scoffed at them, but now they're acquired a little bit of value. People like them because they're variant, and harder to find, I guess. How things change. That's an Ethan Van Sciver cover. Savage Dragon, Superman. Who do you think's going to win? Come on now. Really? Come on now. I think Superman going to kick some ass. Rip that fin off. I slept and I did not, I did not watch Tombstone last night, but maybe tonight. Maybe I'll get to it tonight. A lot of these are Luis Dominguez covers. Bulleteer. That's cool. The First Mission. Boss cover. 0 Hour issues. 0. I tried to collect all the 0. I don't know why. I kind of like that. The way they presented that in silver and everything. So I've tried to get all the 0 Hour stuff. Just to be a completist. See guy. What a great cover. And on the moon, I presume. Right, Dr. Fate cover. Just simple, but nice. DC Superstars, like I said, number 2. We'll come across it, hopefully. That's number 4. That was one of the first comics I bought, TG&Y. They really didn't carry comics, but they had 2 or 3, along with other magazines and stuff. I think that's either the second or third appearance of Black Orchid. I think that's the third appearance, so second and third appearance. I've also got the first. I've got the Adler to the first. There are Adlers to the second and third appearance. The last, I did not get them. I'd like to get them to add to my collection, but Adam Hughes cover there. Some of these Adam Hughes covers, Wonder Woman, should go up in value eventually. Sure. John Byrne again. George Perez. Some Luis Dominguez. John Byrne writing Wonder Woman. Looks like she's going into labor there. I don't know why I get that from that, but I just do. Some Brian Bolland covers. Got a bunch of these Spider-Man 2099s. I could afford to do a giveaway, that's for sure. I'm not going to do any more giveaways, though, till I fulfill the giveaways that I've already, I have not forgotten people. People might have thought I've forgotten, but I have not forgotten. That's why David Finch there. David Finch. Moon Knight. Some preview issues. Always got the previews. Started off 99 cents, went to $1.25. There you go. Steve Rude, I guess. Yep. Amazing Heroes preview. Kind of different. Wizard. See, that's still in the poly bag. Still in the poly bag, I think. It may not be. I've got some that are still in the poly bag. From when I bought that comic shop out. This is a heavy little short box. Those things get heavy. Hero Illustrated. Got one of these in the poly bag, I know. Comics Buyer's Guide. Certainly shows you a snapshot of history in the comics. I think this has got 2 files in there, 35 and 36. I have a bunch of Nightwings. I really like Scott McDaniel. Not a whole bunch of them. Most of them I've read in the trade paperback, but I do have a few, and some of some other artists too. Skipped one there. 100th issue, anniversary issue of Birds of Prey. Shadow Pack, that was great book. I enjoyed it. Bill Willingham. He did the Elementals in the 80s. Secret Six. Hercules Unbound. Yeah, Garcia Lopez artwork cover from 1976. Scott McDaniel there. I like these Scott McDaniel ones. In fact, these might have been the ones that got me, I don't know. I think I just saw the trade paperbacks like, yeah, I really like Scott McDaniel stuff. Started reading it and it's like, hell yeah. Gotham Girls, these have kind of went up in price. I think there's number 1. Samurai Jack. Breach, that was a pretty good read. I read that. Sat down and read all these. I don't think they've done much with the characters since then. That's a Perez cover, I think. There is a look, an artist out there that looks like his stuff, Jimenez. There's a McDaniel cover. Man Bat. There's a McDaniel cover. Stylized, but I like it. Gorilla with wing cover. Alan Weiss and Rubenstein cover here. Bought this one at Hastings. It is newsstand. This is less 2005. This is a rare book to find in newsstand. And that's where she killed Maxwell Lord. the Ray. I always thought that was pretty neat. Costata covers. Went all dark and silhouette with him. Really changed that character up. Made him look so much more dramatic of a character. Hawkman, I kind of like this iteration here where he's got the claws on his hands. He had like claws, in the Filmation. I think Filmation did it. Hawkman. He was he had the Wolverine claws before Wolverine ever was. He had on one hand could like fire rays and batting down doors with it. It's a Scott McDaniel cover. That is too. A lot of these like this I got from my local comic book shop. They had overages. There you go, Longbow Hunter by Mike Grell. Book 3. Nice painted covers. They had a lot of this stuff, Neil Adams, their reprint, prestige format, reprint, prestige format in the 80s of the classic 60s, early 70s series. They redid the cover on that one, I think. That one had a production piece too. Got a graded 8.5 or something like that. That's early Howard Chaykin artwork, I believe. What's the date on that? Can't tell. Nice painted cover. Grim Ghost. Oops. There we go. Probably Ditko cover there. Ferret, number 3, 4. That's Polybag. Phantom, Moonstone Comics. It's a Ditko cover. Ditko cover. Battlestar Galactica. There you go, man. Edge of Chaos. That's the title with that introduced me to the wonderful art of Gray Morrow. Gray Morrow. Great 3-issue series. Highly recommend it. Look at that. Great series. Little Tata on that one. Just saying. Pacific Comics. They bring you more Tata. Check the chat here for a second. I watched Tombstone 3 weeks ago. Great movie. Yeah. Marvelous. Yeah. It is a good movie. Classic movie. Look at that. Got like a leather look. Embossed look. Kind of wild for a cover, huh? Look at the color difference of the purple in the background from this issue to that. Look at that. Same book, just different part of the run, even direct. Alan Davis cover. That's a Scott McDaniel cover. DNA Agents from Eclipse Comics. There we go. Pacific Comics. This is Pat Broderick and Neil Adams on the inks. Got a bunch of that. Planet of the Vampires #1. As you can see, Iron Jaw. Time Jump War, Apple Comics. That's a reprint of Mad Magazine #1, which was in comic book form. I believe this is where Timothy Austin says he gets his Melvin from. It's Melvin. Huh? #2, Magnus Robot Fighter. #4. Those are worth having. Solar Man of the Atom #1, Barry Windsor Smith cover. Multiple copies. Hell yeah. Invest #2s. I've got a bunch of #2s as well. Castata covers here. I got a Shadow Man #6 that has a Ditko cover that's graded 9.8. Castata covers. Some of them, Barry Windsor's. Well, that's a Chin and Barry Windsor Smith on the inks, I think. Picked up a bunch of this too for $1 a piece. Dan Dare, 16 extra pages, still only $1.25. I paid $1 a piece for these 52 pagers. Hell yeah. Picked up a whole bunch of them at that price. There you go. Classic Illustrated, Black Arrow. That's Robert Louis Stevenson, #31. That's going back there to the 40s. Hell yeah. Jetsons, Gold Key Comics, 12 cents. Twilight Zone. Another Neutro. Man, I think we cycled through that. Strangers. I like the Strangers from the Ultraverse. I have I don't know if this is the one, but this is a Jim Lee cover of Stormwatch #1. I've got a double cover. It's got 2 covers by accident. That's the Alan Weiss cover there. Rich Buckler. Shadowhawk 3. Atheist. Look at that. Glenn Fabry covers. Always bizarre. Captain Nautilus, Ocean Force. National Maritime Center. Special limited edition, The Crypt. Bought a bunch of these Bat from Action Comics too. Try and find this in near mint shape, all black cover Fantagraphic books. Got a couple copies of that. That's the type of stuff I like to get graded, get top grade on. This is cool. Renegade Press. Look at that. Oh, 60s looking animation. Experimentals #1. Syringe cover. Godzilla. Yeah. Oh, I woke up happy there a little bit. Not that she was asleep. Aesop's Fables, Fantagraphic books. Oh, Frank Frazetta early work. Robot Comics. Bought a bunch of those from Renegade. I think I bought those, saw those, and bought these from Mile High Comics. Photo cover. Detective Wolf. Always liked this cover. Don't know why. I think it's just the wild color picks on it. Futurians. Watch Tombstone. Yeah. Let's see. Scab. Fantico. #2 of 2. Mature readers. Nosferatu. Plague of Terror. Millennium Comics. Wow. Wondered what was in the middle of a xenomorph. Alien versus Predator duel. Yes. Look at this. Havoc. He always looks like he's playing a guitar to me on this. Sunrunners, Amazing Comics. Crossed in did some good books. All red on the artwork. Some Savage Dragon in these issues. I'm cycling again. Okay. Got some great Captain America issues here by John Cassidy, who passed away. Great covers. One of the greatest runs, for covers. Iconic looking covers. Awesome stuff. Steve Rude there. What price glory? Yeah. Marvel Zombies started, in Ultimates. I want to show you, Super Scroll stretching out Reed's face. Nice puppet master type cover. Wizard half editions. That X4 kind of had an anime bent to it. Whitman variant. I think I went through that. E-Man number 10. Early Joe Staten artwork. Battlestar Galacticas. Mr. X. Yummy Fur from Vortex Comics. That's Gray Mara. He did Merc. The Beast. Powers had some great covers. Steve Rude cover here. Number 70. Trag and the Sky Gods. That's John Buscema cover. Great cover. Always liked this cover. Heckle and Jekyll. Whitman variant. Wacky Racers. Buck Rogers. World's Greatest Athlete. Hell yeah. Great movie. Great early Disney movie, long forgotten now. Oh, this is a great one. Early one, 56. Look at that. Look at that. And it's got hole punched. It is hole punched. People would put these things in binders and save them. They are hole punched. My copy is, but still an early classic illustrated from the 40s. It's just a cool book. Oh, baby. I remember buying this Infinity off the stands. Action Comics 500 issues. That's a big deal, I thought. Fish sticks. Adam Post book here. Steve Ditko. Kind of hard to see. Space Time Shuttle Alpha Productions. I think that's George Perez cover. Near mint shape, all of these. Call it the newsstand collection. Bottom out. Every one of them they had. 52 pages, no ad, square bound in this shape. 50 years old. Hell yeah. Now 50 years old. Or approaching 50 years old. Near mint, brand new shape. Hell yeah. So we'll start off, we'll take a break. This is a great retro cover. Atomic Skull, little throwaway thing back there in the back. Old style Superman look. I'll take a break and be back here later. Mar, the New Universe was great. Justice, Star Brand, Cyforce, and DP7 were my favorites. Yeah, old school covers were awesome. I'm not a fan of modern Marvel comics covers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, here's another stream for you, and then I'll take a break and let Abby out and see how the weather's doing. Looks like it's kind of calming down a little bit. That's good news. And come back and do it again till we get through this. We've went through where are we at? We're on box number 41, so it takes me a couple hours, depending on how much I talk, to go through 40. So I think I could do it in the whole day if I keep streaming. Marathon streams on Rex's channel today. Thank you Apex Comics for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that. Really appreciate it. Every bit helps. The value of my collection, you know what? Somebody's willing to give for it. Like I said, if I had, let's say, 30,000, got $1 a piece, which some you could get over that, some you could get under that. Most of them are going to be good enough shape to get $1 a piece for them, or the equivalent of that, or make up for some that aren't in that great shape. If you could get that for everyone, there'd be $30,000. And I certainly wouldn't get rid of them for anything less than that. Are you kidding? Hell no. Anyway, keep collecting, keep reading good comics, and we'll see you later on this channel to look at some more great comics. PBR Street Gang in the house. I see you sliding in there.